first let's try to recall what was done yesterday, little bit. Okay, so a small exercise kind of thing, so that this becomes easy for us to understand, right? What to recall what has been happened. So let me assume that we have a string. Say I'll call the string as x. X is equal to hello world. Okay, now just try to recall how do you find out how many characters are there in the string. You can use one command called length, and you will simply write length of x. Okay, so this is going to work. So this actually calculates the uh, length of that string, right? Then let me say I want to find out the first character. So few of the concepts we discussed today will come now. It's just an exercise, okay, so that we can remember what has been covered. Let's say that okay, I want to find out the very first character. That's x should be printed out. So how do you do that? You can write x of 0, because the indexing always starts from 0, right? So we know that. That's how you get the first string. Right, now I want say I want to print out I want the result to be LLO, right? So this is what I want to print, the LLO from the string. So it has to be done by using the slicing, correct? So let's try to slice it. So x of the first L is 0, 1, 2. So it will start from 2 and it will go till I need to print O. So I need to write the index of the space. So that is 2, 3, 4. The next space is 5. The 5 is not going to be printed out. So it's just LLO gets printed out. Right. So this is what we had discussed from yesterday. I want to add something to this. So there is actually a function called strip, right? So if at all I want to remove the, right, I want to print something without the white space. So what I can try to do here is that x dot strip. Okay, so we'll try to split this, right? So this is how it can be done. So strip, right? So at the beginning and at the end, if you have the white spaces, okay, let me show you that again. Maybe this is not clear here. I'll print something else, right? So let me try to. So I'll give a white space at the beginning and the white space at the end. Okay, so this is my new string. Now, if at all you want to write a string, if at all there are white spaces at the beginning and at the end, right? So I'll write the comment here so that when you read, you will understand. Okay, so to remove the end of the string. If you want to do that, you will simply write x dot strip. So it removes if you have white spaces at the beginning and end, you'll be able to take it out. So you can see that initially I had a white space. At the end also I have a white space. It has been removed. But at the middle, if you have any white spaces, it will not be removed, because actually if you have something like that, maybe you lose the structure of the string, right? So at the beginning and end, it has nothing to do. So you can eliminate that directly. All right. Then the next thing, let's try to remember, is I want to convert uh, everything, the text or the string, to uppercase, right? So if you want to do that, then the solution is, right, I will write that x upper, right? So you can see that everything becomes uppercase. Similarly, let's try to convert the string into the lowercase. All right, so that is to lowercase x dot. So as expected, it has to be the lower, right? So doesn't matter if it is already in the lowercase, it will be retained as a lowercase. If you have something which is or which is uppercase, it will be converted to the lowercase over here. Right. Now, let us say I want again there is an option to replace, right? So replacing a character. So if I want to do that, right, what I can try to do here is, okay, I'll copy the, I think I'll go back and I'll copy the first this thing, and let me come back and let me paste it over here. This is what I have, and if at all I want to replace, so I'll call that as a maybe y is equal to in x. You want to replace, so you go for a replace function. There's a function called replace, and you need to tell that I have a capital H. Let me assume that I want to replace this with the say capital J. Okay, then I print this y, right? So you can see that that particular character has been replaced by what I want. Okay, so this is one thing that I quickly wanted to cover, so that we recall something that has been covered under the strings part. All right, then actually we have touched the list. Lists are going to come back once again in today's discussion. So for that reason, uh, let's try to recall, right, something from the lists, right? So okay, let me do one thing. Let me try to add a name here so that we understand that whatever we are doing here. Okay, let me add a cell. So insert cell above so that I can this is recap. Okay, so whatever we are doing here is a recap of our yesterday's session. All right, so then here I'm trying to recall some parts of what we have discussed in the yesterday's session, that is all about the lists. All right, so again I'll add a name here. Let's right, so let me create a list. Let me give a name as a fruits and apple. Then let me add second fruit and let it be. All right, so we have a list. Now I want to access the second item in the list, or I want to print the second item in the list. So print. So second item in the sense index wise 0, 1. So second item has the index 1. So I just have to write fruits of 1. All right, that's very straightforward. Then okay, now let me say I want to change. If you remember, the lists are actually mutable in the sense you can change, right? So I want to change the apple to, let's see, right? I can do that. So how do I do that? The fruits, specify which index you want to change. So index of apple is 0, right? So change this to, again I'm entering a text here, so it's a string, so you have to use either single quote or double quote. All right, then I'll write print the fruits. All right, so yes, that's also done. Let's try to recall uh, how to add a new item to the list, right? So my question is append. Let me say my new item I want to add is orange, right? So fruits dot append. You just have to enter the new element that is going to come, orange. And then definitely I print the fruits to check. That's yes. All right. So this is also we have discussed. Then all right. Now inserting an element to a specific location. Let's try to recall, right? Uh, this is my point. So insert lemon to, okay, lemon as second item in the list. Okay, so how do you add at a specific location? You just have to specify the its position. Okay, what is the index? So second item means it has to be 1, but I cannot use append. I have to use a function, and that function is insert. So fruits dot, if you want to add it at a specific location, mention which location it is. It's a second item, so 0 1, so it has to be 1 comma, mention what you want to add, lemon. All right, then go to the print option, so and print the goods. All right, so you can see that yes, that's done. All right, then okay, we have added something. Let's look at the options that we are going to use to remove something. All right, so remove banana from the list. So fruits dot, if you remember, there is a function called remove. So you just have to specify which item you want to remove. Since it is a string, I just have to write them inside the single or double quotes. And after that, I'll print fruits. Right? So yes, that is also done. Let's try to print. Okay, I don't know which is the last item, right? I just want to check that which is the last item in the string. So last, right? So how do you access the last element? Do you remember? Uh, any idea? You can even type if talking is not possible, or okay. So what's the option that you can use to access the very last element? Do you remember? That should be, you can use the indexing, right? So we have a negative indexing coming to picture. So you can simply use the negative indexing as print the last number. So the last element, go to the fruits and put -1. Yeah, fruits of 3 is fine if I know the length is 3. Okay, but assume that you don't know what's the length. I just know that there is a list and I don't know which the last one. Okay, in such case, yes. So what you told is absolutely right. Because in this case, I definitely know that, okay, the length is 4. So last element is 3. Yes, but if I don't know the case, then I have to use the negative indexing for that purpose. Right. Now, I want to print the third, fourth, and the fifth item from, okay, do I have third, fourth, and fifth? No, right? Okay, uh, okay, then let me say I want to print the second and the third, right? So third elements, right? So what I do, I'll go with print uh, fruits. So I want to print the second item. So this has to be 0. I want to print the third one. I need to write the number next to that, right? So I will print the lemon and cherry as expected. All right, then yes, uh, from this, from the lists, if I want to find how many, what do you call, how many elements are in any list, definitely you will go with the length. Okay, so length of fruits will show you the 4. Okay, so that's, we are referring to this line number 16 as the standard one. Referring to that, we are talking. Okay, so I tried to cover most of the things we discussed related to lists. Lists are going to come back again in today's session when we continue. But before that, let's try to recall the other topics we had discussed. So I will write recap of tuples. So we actually have discussed tuples yesterday. So let's continue with that. Now I'll again create a tuple first before I go to a question, right? So fruits once again equal to apple, right? The banana, and let me add the third one, berry, right? So if you look at this, if you try to print this fruits now, you see that I have change in the brackets. Previously we had square, which is indicating that it's a list. Now this is a tuple, right? So I know that tuple I cannot actually, it's immutable, right? So let's try to recall. If at all I want to check out the first element, the way is very similar to the list. So I go to the print and I write fruits. You address it by using the same square brackets. Okay, so just remember that's one important thing. Everything is pretty much similar. All right, so everything is pretty much similar to the list. And if you want to find the length of a tuple also, you can use the same function, length of. So we are trying to look at the similarities between the tuple as well as the list. So whatever works on the list will work here as well. All right, so print fruits of p minus 1. It's going to work in a very similar fashion, right? I'm trying to address the last element over here, right? And if I try to do the slicing, pretty much similar. So fruits start from 1, go till third, right? So you'll be able to print out. But you see that the result is actually again a tuple itself. Okay, so this is what we actually I wanted you to recall before we go further. And one more thing that we actually had discussed is about the conditions, right? So anyway, we will be using the various conditional statements, that is if else, and the loops like while loop, etc. We'll be discussing that again and again in today's session as well. So we'll be able to recall at that moment itself. All right. So okay, let's go back and let's do something here. All right. So the next thing, we continue with the list ones, and so we'll move to this is we start with our current session from here. Okay. So the next topic that we are going to discuss here is I'll write the content whatever we have to discuss, so that when you read it you will be able to understand. Okay. So it's called as enumeration. There is a function to be used called enumerate. I'll write the meaning of that. Okay. So let me try to say that I want to, this is used to keep track of the index, right? Specifically related to list, okay, or list. Now, if I have a, actually, if you have a list, something like, let me try to give an example first. So my list one, I'll create a list. Okay, so let me say this is A and BC. Okay, let me write D, E. So this is a list. All right, now I want to keep track of, when I say that A, I should know that it is index 0, right? BC, it's index 1. If I have a small list, yes, I can see and I can visualize. All right, but what if your list is very large, right? So keeping track of this index is actually important, right? So which element is what, you need to keep track of that. Sometimes it becomes necessary. So we have a facility that is available in Python. Okay, so that means it is very easy to do this. So there is a inbuilt function called enumerate. So let me add a point here. That is, this enumerate function it returns a tuple of index and value. Okay, so index means for A, index is 0, value is A. Okay, for the second element, index is 1, value is BC. Then index is 2, value is DEF. So actually, if you use enumerate, right, this is the usage. So let me show you how to get. So for, so I get two values. One is index. So first I use index as I, and I get a value called V, right? I and V will be returned by the enumerate. Okay, so what I do, I use in enumerate. So this is how you use enumerate. If you simply write enumerate of whatever list you want to find out, that is my list one. So enumerate of my list one returns I and V. For every element in the list, for A, it returns 0, comma A. 0 and A, that's all. Okay. And comma or colon, it's left to you. How do you want to print out? You can use it. I'll show you that in the next line. Okay. So BC, actually, enumerate of the second element is 1 and BC. Then enumerate of third element is 2, D. So this is what I did that. So for every I for every index that is present over there, like 0, 1 and 2 in this case, V means all the values, that is A, then BC, then D. For every I and V in this, what I want to do, I just want to print, because this is for visualization purpose. Otherwise, enumerate will do it automatically. So what I do, I'll write I, then then I want to print, say, if you want to write equal to, you can write equal to. If you want to do anything, anything that you want to print, you can. Okay, so that is I. Then I'll write say V. Okay, so that this is what I want to print. Now you see, so it's actually I and V are extracted by the function enumerate, and this colon I suggested, saying that okay, between I and V you print this. Since I said that, it actually printing like that. If you put comma, it will print a comma. Okay, if you do any other sort of operator or anything you want to print, you can actually put it over there. Okay, then there is another very important function that is available in Python. So that function is, again, we are trying to relate what you call as lists and tuples now. So that one important function. So let me try to write that here. It's called as a zip function. All right. So it is used to pair the elements of lists, or you can even use it for tuples, right? And to create a list of tuples. So this is our idea. In a sense, I'll elaborate in a minute. So let me create two lists now. My list 1 equal to, so let me try to write one element, then second element, then all right, so this is the third element. Then I'll create my list 2, that is by using all right. Right. So these are the two different lists so we have created. And what I try to do here, I'll use a zip function. So I'll call it as zip tuple, because the result after zip, you get a zipped tuple. That is equal to, use a function zip and tell that what are the two lists that you want to add them together to get a tuple. Okay, so that is actually my list 1, my list 2. Okay, so if I try to print, let's check what happens. Zip tuple. So you see that it's a zip object, right? I'm not able to see, like a range function. It creates that numbers and it will not display them, right? So what I need to do, if in case of the range function, if you remember, we actually had to convert them into a list to see that. So same thing I'm trying to do here. I'll convert that object, zip object, into a list. So the name of that object is the zipped tuple. Now you see you are able to visualize what exactly happens. So pair the elements of a list, in the sense element by element, it actually pairs first element with the first element of the second list, second element of the first list, and the second element of the second list. Like element by element, it can actually, right, club them together to get this. Now I need to understand something. What happens, what's going to happen if the lengths are not same? Because that's one possibility, right? For example, let me try to create my list 3, and let me try to do something called as okay, let me add only 2 elements now, true, false. Okay, and now let me try to create, I want to visualize, so I directly do the list of zip of mention the list, that is my list 1, first one, my list 2, second one, my list 3. So now you see, first two lists have 3 elements each. Okay, and the last, that is my list 3, has only 2 elements in it, right? So let's see what happens. So the zip is going to consider the length of the result to be the smallest one. Okay, smallest one. What's the length? Smallest length out of them. First one is 3, second one is 3, the third one is only 2. So your final answer contains only 2 such tuples. All right. So this is what happens here. Right. Then now there is an another function, right? So let's try to look at the second function. This is called as a reversed. Okay, so this is to reverse the sequence, right? So let me try to write. Okay, let me directly write this, because you will understand that. So I want the answer to be a list because I have a range present. I want that range to be reversed. So reversed, or now I need a list. What I do, instead of list, I'll go for a range. Range, starting number is 1, last number is 11, because I want the list to be having the numbers 1 to 10. So you will write its next number, so 1 to 11. So range contains 1 to 10. After that, outside I say that reverse it, so it becomes 10 to 1. Then I convert that into a list and I print out. Okay, so that's the usage of what is called as a list. Okay, now that's how you use a function called reverse, and you can use it like this, right? Then let's move further. Now I will define another data type that is present in Python, and this is also pretty much useful. And like lists and tuples, the third important built-in data type of Python, it is called as, it's a dictionary. All right, so okay, I can try to give a definition like it's actually a collection of pairs of key and one. So maybe you will ask a question now. Already we have the list present over there, where actually I can use an enumerate to get its index value. Corresponding to the index value, I have a value present. So index to value, I already have it, right? Why can't I use it? So this is pretty much, the definition looks pretty much similar to that. Okay, but the idea behind the dictionary is that you can give any key value, right? If you go back to the list, the index value, which acts like a key, has to be integer only, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? It's in that way. But now you see, it's not like that. It's this key value can be anything. I'll justify that. I'll prove that. So in order to create, let's try to create our dictionary, right? So dictionary, if you want to create, let me try to, my dict 1 is equal to, so you see the difference, I have to use a curly brace, right? And always you write a key and its value separated by a colon. Now as I mentioned, key can be anything, so let me directly start with the character as a key. This is a key, and corresponding to this key, I have a value. That value can be anything. Again, you can write a text, you can write a number, you can write special characters, anything you want, you can write there. So you see, I'll write text. So this is the first key, colon. Well, it has to be colon. I cannot change this. Okay, this has to be the colon itself. I cannot change. Then this complete, whatever I have written, a key colon value is the first element inside the dictionary, right? Then let me go to the second element inside the dictionary. Let me give another, say maybe BC. This is a key. Now you see it said text. Previous one was just a string, sorry, just a single character. Now I am writing a string as key, and let me try to write a number. 1 2 3 4 is its value. Okay, let me show you different case. Maybe I'll write 100 as the key. Corresponding to that, you can have maybe you can have something else over here. Let me try to write it as maybe 2000. Again, this is, if you see, this 2000 is actually not a number, it's a string now. So I have treated that. So print my dict1. So it shows that it's a dictionary by using the curly braces itself. You can actually check the type as well. It's a dict. Okay, now let's say I want to add something to the dictionary, right? So addition happens pretty much straightforward way. So what you can do here is you need to specify what will be the key. Okay, so you see, if I consider the conventional method we have been using so far for the tuples and list, according to that convention, this has to be 0th element, correct? This has to be the first element, this has to be the second element, and so on. Okay, in the sense, the index number 0 1 2, and now I don't have an index. The every element is identified by its key only. I need a key to access this. I don't need index to identify this. I'll justify that, because you see here, if at all I write this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2, right? Now you see what I have, what I try to do here. I'll say my dict1 of 2, because as per our convention, this 2 is actually an index. So 2 means, right, I'm actually 0 1 2. So this should be changed according to that, right? So if I write 2 equal to, if I assign something, maybe I can assign 1 comma sorry, it's, I'll write 1 1 comma 2 2 comma 3 3. Okay, and then I print my dict1. So you see here, actually what happened, this 2 what you have added here is a key now. It's not an index, because index number 0 1 2 etc we know now. So why I did this, because I wanted to justify that there is no index related to this. There is only a key. Corresponding to the key, there is a value, right? So how to access the elements? Like this, my dict1 of, so see the you need to tell what is the key that you want to access, so that you can see its value. So you can enter either A here, but just entering A like this will not work, because A is actually a character, it's a string, so you will write like this. Then it actually displays that, right? Like that, if you want to see the second one, you need to enter BC, right? But yes, if it is a number, definitely you can enter. Now you just check this, my list1 of 100. Now you see, oh, my mistake, what happened? My, oh, okay, sorry, it's not list, sorry, my dict1 of 1. So you can see that it actually prints out, right? The value corresponds to that. All right, and yes, I can definitely you can check that whether you have a specific key present in this. So that already we know that it's actually 100 in my dict one. So in keyword already we have seen that. So you can check the different values like this. Okay, do you have a key present in this? You can check directly by using this. All right, then moving ahead, if you what if you want to delete a particular keyword, right? So I'll just, we have two methods, so let me write them here. So this is to delete the entries. We have two methods. One is delete keyword, or you can use what is called as a pop method. So two options you have. Let's see. First option is delete keyword is simply del. Tell the name of the dictionary, my dict1, and you need to tell that what is the key that you want to delete. Key and value pair will be completely deleted. For example, this is 100, and then I print my dict1, right? So comparing to the line number 37, we actually have removed this, right? One of the element from there. Okay, so that's one option. And let's move further. The second option to delete is called as a pop, right? So that is my dict1 pop. So you will specify which particular key. Again, the key only needs to be mentioned, because corresponding to a key, always there is a value, right? So I can just say that, okay, remove this key from my dict and print that my. So if you try to remove any element, right, which does not exist, it will throw an error. Like if you try to say that pop C here, I don't have a C in the list, right? So it throws you an error. Okay, so adding element, removing an element, etc. are fine for us. Now I have a big question, right? Saying that how do I know that what are the elements present in my dictionary? Because somebody else has written a dictionary, I am going to use it, means I should know what are the keys. Unless I know the keys, I may not be able to operate on it, right? So let's look at what is called as the details of dictionary. If you want to find out the details about the dictionary, we have three methods available, right? The first one is my dict1. It's the name of the dictionary. Dot, you simply write items, right? So whenever I type items, you will be able to see the complete dictionary, like BC 1 2 3 4. Because right now I'm having only the size of this is only 2, because only two pairs do exist. BC 1 2 3 4 means BC is a key, 1 2 3 4 is a value, then 2 is a key, and its value means it's a list, like this. I'll be able to see the complete dictionary. Okay, this is to display the details. Then the second option is, it's very straightforward. I can directly see what are the keys present in the given dictionary. That is my dict1, dot keys. This is the second function. As the name suggests, you will be able to see only the keys like BC and 2. So when we are able to see the keys, I should be able to see the values also. My dict1 dot values. So you'll be able to see only the values. All right. So very straightforward method, right? Then one more very important operation that we normally might use is called as the merging the dictionary. Right? If you want to do that, you can use what is called as update. There is a function called update. We are going to use this update function. So already I have the mydict1. Let me inspect that once. Now, in order to merge, I will use a second dictionary, mydict2. Okay, so this is equal to, so let's say I use a key called x, and its value is, see, you can use none. Okay, and let me go with another one, capital A, and I'm going to put a value as a tuple 11 comma 44 maybe. Then the next element is, okay, I'll put 10 colon hello. Okay, so this is my dict 2. Now, in order to add the my dict 2 at the end of my dict 1. All right, in the sense I am concatenating my dict 2 at the end of my dict 1. You will write the following command, my dict 1. To this, I want to append at the end, so it is update. Okay, update, simply mention that my dict 2. Okay, and then I inspect the result. You can inspect or you can even print. I prefer printing this, my dict 1. Okay. So you can see that, right? So this was the original my dict 1, and this is the my dict 2, and right now we are having a single result, and that is present inside the my dict 1, right? Like this. Okay, so that is one very important part. Again, removing any item, you know how to do that. We can do that. Then okay, one more very useful useful function is again using the zip function. I can actually convert them into the list. Okay, so let me show you the lists once again. Let me assume that I have a list with me. I have two lists with me, and I want to convert those lists into a dictionary. Okay, so I already have my list 1 and my list 2 in line number 28. So I'm bringing them back. Okay, so let me assume that I have my list 1. So this is there. My list 2. This is there. And now uh, let me try to convert that into my dict. So I already have my dict 2. Okay, my dict 3. I want to create a new dictionary now by using the elements of list 1 and list 2. So it's a dict. Dict is a function which converts whatever is written inside this into a dictionary. I need a key value pair inside this. So how do you get that? It's a zip function. We know that we can use zip, right? It actually makes pairs element by element of my list 1 comma my list 2. All right, so that's how the my dict 3 is going to be created, and let's print that. Not my list, my dict 3. So you can see, right? It's in the same fashion like what happened earlier, but now it's a key value pair, and you get a dictionary as a result. Okay, then Right. So we have the dictionaries uh, used in this way. So we'll discuss more about dictionaries and the application of dictionaries in the examples that we are going to do in the hands-on session. After we discuss a little bit more about all the options available uh, inside this. Okay. So before that, let's go to the next data type. Right. So far, important data types, the special data types supported in Python: lists, tuples, dictionaries. All right. So three are over. The fourth one is called as set. So okay. So it's called as set. So now, if you remember, this we have studied sets already in mathematics. So same concept is applied over here to create a new data type. Okay, so that is set. So I can write its sets are actually unordered collection of unique elements. Right? I might have repeated elements. Okay, but when I say right set, it selects only the unique elements. Repetitions are eliminated automatically. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Either I can write okay, I'll write one thing here. So using I can use either set as a function, or I can use curly braces once again. Okay, now let me show you. Let me show you how this does, because the same curly braces are also used for dictionaries. Now there is a difference in the usage itself, so that we can. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. Let me correct that. It's a curly. Okay, so let me show you. All right, so set A is equal to set of enter a list, like enter repeated numbers, and let's verify what happens. Comma 2 2 comma 4 4 comma 3 3 comma 2 2 comma 5 5. You can see that the elements actually in the lists are repeated. Then I'll print this set A. So as the name suggests, it is unordered. It can come in any order, doesn't matter. And you can see that, right? Every number comes, every element is going to be right and present inside the list, inside the set only once. That's what is the meaning of set, right? For example, let me try to give an example from mathematics itself. Because in mathematics we have used this several times. So if you want to create a set, maybe the best example is I can ask a question saying that I toss a coin 50 times, and what are the possible outcomes? If I ask that, uh, the one who is going to answer will not say all the 50 possibilities, right? Head, tail, head, tail, like that. 50 possibilities will not come, right? The answer could be only head and tail. Why? Because it's a set. Because I may get head, tail, head, tail, any fashion you may get the answer, right? But what is important here is, right, only the possibilities. The set is important. That's why, right, normally we use the sets in this case. So this is one method. So let me check the, is it a new data type? Let's check. Okay, so type of set A, if you check that, it's a set, right? So you see that this is a new data type that is available in Python. So let's check the other option, set, I'll create set B. Using the second option, you just have to use a curly brace, right? And now you see you will not enter the key value pair. You simply keep entering the numbers, 33, maybe 44, 55, again 88, comma. Let me enter a few more numbers: 33, 55, 77, 88, etc. Okay, so if I do this and if I check print set B, you see that you are going to get a set itself. Repetitive numbers are actually eliminated. Repetitive entries are going to be eliminated. Right? So that's the usage. That's how you create a set, right? And yes, some of the experiments which are actually something like when you want to model the experiments like tossing a coin, right? Like that. The stochastic, the probabilistic calculations, etc., which are very important in case of the machine learning or building some models like that. We might use the sets as well. Okay, so that's why this has been introduced. Very now when we have sets available with us, it is very important that we need to remember that we can use the basic operations, right? The set operations are very important, correct? So let's do the next topic, that is set operations. So what are the simple step operations one can perform? If you remember, first one is union. Set A dot union of set B. Okay, so this actually performs, as the name suggests, you are trying to perform the union operation, right? Right. Similarly, the I can actually I have actually another method that to do using the OR operator, SET, because this union is nothing but the common elements in the complete all elements in A as well as B all together. You remove the repetition. So this can be written as OR operation. Set. Sorry, this is not. This is OR operator. Set B. So you can see that both answers are same. Either you can use union operator or union function or this one. Okay, both will do the union thing. And similar to union, I need to have intersection. So set A dot intersection set B. This is going to give you the common elements in both. I have a intersection operator by using the ampersand notation, that is set A set B. So this is also going to give you the same answer. Okay, then let's look at there is if you want to copy a set to another set, I can do something like this. So that is set C, it's a copying option. So set A dot copy. In a sense, copy the contents of set A to set C, right? And you can try to print or inspect set C. It's like this. Okay, so you can even do the very similar operations like whatever we have done earlier with respect to this. Now the important part is that the set elements are immutable, right? So I cannot, right? I cannot operate on this, and I cannot change the content because, as you know, these are unordered sets, like no zeroth, no first element, no second element, and so on, right? So because of that, they have made sure that nobody touches them. All the elements which are present over there should be intact. So because of that, they are keeping it in this way, right? So that's why it's kept in this way. So let me show you something more. Uh, it's all about, let me try to write to check the subset and superset. So if you want to check that whether you have a subset or whether you have a superset, related to a set, you can check that by using the corresponding functions. We are going to discuss that function now itself. Okay, so let me bring the set A now. Let me check that. Set A is 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. Okay, now what I try to do here is that I check whether a particular set is a subset of this given set. So I can actually enter the set here itself, like I can write that 1, 1, comma 2, 2, comma 3, 3. This is a set which I want to check that dot is a subset, is a function. So I'm checking that whether this 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 is a subset of set A. So answer is true, right? Because set A contains 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, right? So any set like this is a subset of other set if these elements are already present in that larger set. So whatever I check here should be larger compared to this. Okay, so that is a very fundamental idea behind the set operations called as subset. Then very similar to that, I can actually check for a superset. If you enter something which is not a part of subset, answer will be false. Let's check that. So I have till 5, 5. So I'll write 7, 7, comma 8, 8. It's a smaller set. Dot is a subset of set A. If I check that, answer is false because it's not there. These elements are not there in the set A. That is a subset part. Similar to that, I can actually check a superset. Superset will be a larger set. So I will check set A. This is a larger set. Dot is superset of. I can enter any what you call smaller set here. Superset is a bigger set. It should contain all the elements contained in a smaller set. So smaller set is 4, 4, comma maybe 5. I can see that 4, 4, 5, 5 are already present in A. So the answer should be true. Then set A is superset of, I will enter something which is not there, same thing, 7, 7, comma maybe 8, 8. Answer is false. So finding out whether, right, it's a superset, subset, etc. is very useful. And one more way, much easier way is to use the, okay, it's the same thing. Two sets are equal, right? Try to look at the definition of sets. And if you have two sets and you can call both sets are equal, provided the contents are same, doesn't matter which order it is. For example, let me show you 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. This is a set definitely equal to, I'm checking that whether this set is equal to 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1. You see the orders are different, but all the elements are there. So answer says it is true. Okay, if you miss any element in this, it will say it is not true. All right, so let me go this. So I'll remove one of the term and it says false. Okay, so that is what we have with respect to sets and dictionaries. All right, now let's try to have a quick what you call a quick recap session of this, and then we'll proceed further. All right, so now let me, this is, okay, I can call it as maybe I'll give a side heading saying that it's a quiz. It's a quiz on whatever we have been discussing so far. So let me create maybe, as you can see, it's a dictionary. All right, so I'll write brand is, let's say, Ford. You can actually go to the new line. Okay, so after a comma, to enter a second key value pair, you can go to a new line, because whenever the key value pairs are larger, and it just to make sure that it looks neat, we can go to a new line, right, like this. So then model colon, I'll write this thing comma, maybe here, I'll say 1995. Let's see. Okay, so this is what? It's a dictionary. I created a dictionary now, and if you want to check, right, the value corresponding to model, right, I want to print, right, this is a question to print value corresponding to the key is model, right? What's the answer? If you remember, can you give me the answer? Can you try to type on the chat if possible? Car. You can simply type right model, right? So that actually prints this. Otherwise, you have another option, right? Print car dot. There is a function called get. I actually told you the easier one during this. Again, this option do exist. You can try to write it. Okay? That also prints this. Okay, uh, that's one thing. Then, right? Let me say this is the next question. Change the value of year, say to a different value, to the 2023, right? How can I do that? So I can simply use the card and mention the key, right? The key is year, right? And this itself you need to change. So assign a new value equal to 2023. Okay, then print to check that. You can see that the year changed to a new value. All right, then the next thing I want you to recall is add the color to red to this car. So what you can do, go to this, whichever you want to add, tell what is the key. The key is color, and I want to assign a value equal to red. It's a string, so inside the single quotes, red. Okay, after that, print the car. So you can see that that actually has been added. Right, then the next thing that I want to do is remove model car. Right, so if you remember, we have a function called from, and you just have to mention what is the key that you want to eliminate, that you want to remove. It's the model. So as soon as I enter this, it will be eliminated. Okay, so I can try to I will be able to remove that. So what I do here is that print car. So I should not have model here. Yes, I can see that the model has been removed from this. Right now, this is to clear the dictionary. Okay, so to clear or remove or empty that, so I can simply use dot clear print. So I can see it's empty, right? So these are the various things that we can do with respect to the dictionaries. All right, so then let's move to the sets. Let's try to recall what we can do with respect to the sets. Let's try to have a quick recap of this, and let me try to create a set. Oh, sorry, it's a set. So curly braces, banana, and let me enter the third put. Okay. All right. Now, in case of this the sets, right? If you want to add, right? So let me try to add a question here itself. This is add add orange to this set. So fruits dot add. All right, you will simply write which element you want to add to the set. It should not be present in the set. Okay, so that's the fundamental condition. Go ahead with that, you will get this. Okay, then let me add, right, few more items to this. Okay, already I have the fruits, and let me add a more fruits, and let me say I have mango, and let me say grapes. I want to add this, right? Add these items to fruits. So the question is add to the set fruits. If you want to do that, you can easily do that by using fruits dot. There's a function called update, and you just have to tell that what you want to add at the end. That is more fruits. More fruits, and after that I will check inspect. So that actually shows you this, and then let's look at the removal. Remove banana from the set. So fruits dot remove. Sorry, remove. My mistake. Remove. Specify the element and check the fruits list. So you see that banana, which was present in the previous set, has been removed. right? So there is another method to remove the element. So you can even remove the element by using another method that is also called as discard. Let me show you that. Roots dot it's discard. You just have to enter an element. So let me say I want to remove shape. Okay, then roots. So you can see that it has been removed. All right. So we have discussed uh, many things about the sets now. And okay, let's go further. So do you have any doubts with the whatever we have been discussing so far? Mainly related to sets and also the dictionaries mainly, or you can even ask any question if you have related to the previous topics. So the next topic here is called as the list comprehensions. So they are actually now we have reached to we have reached a point where we can see the actual power of Python. Okay, so this comprehension methods are actually a methods used to process the list, process the elements of a list, so that you can get a new list out of it. All right, so to form a new list by processing the elements of a list by, we have three options inside this method called list comprehension. The first one is by mapping or filtering, or the third option is called as by reducing. So we have three options here. We'll look at one by one. Right. So the list comprehensions actually operate on a given list, and you produce a new list out of it after processing the elements of that list. That's the first thing. Comprehensions is just that. Now, this comprehension can be one of the three methods. The first one is mapping. The second one is filtering. The third list comprehension technique is called as reducing. So these techniques are actually the power of Python, I can say, right? And you can operate on a list normally, which if I write a code in C for the same purpose, it might take a lot of lines of codes, or the conventional coding will take a lot of lines of code. Whereas if you use these comprehension techniques, you can do the same job in 2 or 3 lines of code. So that is the power. So I call it as the Pythonic way of writing the code. So we'll be looking at that, the Pythonic way of writing the code, right, in the list comprehensions now.